of the Concord City Council to order. Before we start, I would just like to mention that if anyone in the audience has difficulties hearing, are hearing impaired, we do have special devices in the back of the room at the Concord TV booth where Mike is waving. They are earphones that you can use in order to have augmented sound of the proceedings tonight. Now, would you all please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Justice for all. Madam City Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Yes. Councilor Brown. Here. Mayor Champlin.
Here.
Councilor Davey.
Present.
Councilor Federici.
Present.
Councilor Foote.
Present.
Councilor Grady Sexton. Here. Councilor Horn. Here. Councilor Caleb. Here. Councilor Keach.
Here.
Councilor Kredovic.
Here.
Councilor Kurtz.
Present.
Councilor Schlosser.
Here.
Councilor Schultz. Here. Councilor Sekou.
Present.
And Councilor Todd.
Here.
Thank you very much. Excuse me. That now moves us to the approval of meeting minutes. Does anybody have an objection if I ask for a motion, a single motion to approve all three of the minutes in your packet?
I do.
You would
I do
object?
as well. Second. I have a motion to amend the January 12th.
But first, but
Okay.
we can discuss that all together
Okay.
if you have no objection. So I think
Understood.
Councilor Brown
Yes,
made
and I also have an amendment, or yes, motion to amend both the January 8th and the January 12th.
First, we need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Thank you. The chair recognizes Councilor Caleb.
Yes, in the January 12th meeting minutes for the suspense item, it was noted that the vote was unanimous, but there was one no, and it was Councilor Fennessy. I just wanted to highlight that edit there.
Thank you.
All right. Chair recognizes Councilor Brown.
Yes, so I have two, a correction on, I'll go backwards, starting with January 12th. On page 21, I called a point of order. This was after the finance director's comments. He emphasized, I called a point of order to state that $244,000 was not approved by council. I countered his statement with a point of order. So I just would like that, feel that that should be reflected, and then we went on to move the question. And my second amendment is on January 5th, or January 8th, I'm sorry, was the city manager instructed all councilors to communicate with department staff, but I alone was instructed to just speak with him. I feel that's relevant.
Okay. Does City Clerk have that captured?
I do. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Councilor Kredovic.
Thank you, Your Honor. Honestly, I have another amendment for January 12th.
Thank you.
Members of the council, you're all aware that during the course of the day leading up to the council meeting, it's pretty typical that we would get an email with some public testimony, and then that is updated to the agenda and posted so that it's viewable to everybody. We did receive a communication on January 12th. I have discussed it with the city clerk. It included an attachment of finance meeting minutes from June 5th of 2025, as well as two external links. Those were never posted to the public, and so they never had the opportunity to see those in advance of the public hearing. So I asked that the communication be included with the meeting minutes of January 12th so that it will become part of the public record.
Very well. Okay. Is the council comfortable in voting for the minutes as amended? Yep. All right, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Ayes have it. The minutes are adopted. This moves us to the consent calendar. I'll note that items 12, 17, and 19 have been pulled from the consent calendar. It's 12, 17, and 19. Do I have a motion to approve the consent calendar?
Move approval.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Ayes have it. The consent calendar is adopted. That brings us to public hearings. Madam City Clerk, item 24A.
It is an ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances, Title V Administrative Code, Chapter 35 Classification and Compensation Plan. It is to modify the position of the municipal appraiser.
Mr. City Manager.
Your Honor, members of the council, so our city appraisers serve on the front line of in-house municipal assessing operations, interact daily with the property owners. So what we'd like to do regarding this is the proposed classification will strengthen the assessing department's ability to recruit and retain qualified staff. The reclassification of the assessing department current appraiser position to the appraiser labor grade 18 from 16 would have the following impact for fiscal year 2026 budget. It would be retroactive to February 1st. Total labor increases for two appraisers would be $9,792.64, and we can manage that within the existing budget.
Thank you. Any questions for the city manager? Councilor Brown.
Does this have any impact on the class and compensation study that is currently in suspense?
It would,
You may.
so it would reduce the amount if you decided to implement, not knowing, because you still have to negotiate that with each of the union groups or all of the union groups. It would potentially reduce the amount you'd have to appropriate to close the gap if you decided to add something to that, yes.
It would reduce it,
If you wanted to, let's say you wanted to accept a portion or all of the study, there's some increases associated with those, and these are.
okay. I see.
Okay.
Got it, thank
You
you.
got it.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Any other questions for the city manager? All right, I'll open this item up to the public hearing. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to testify? Mr. Schweiker. Greetings. Welcome.
Good evening, mayors, members of the city council, city manager, city clerk. I'm Roy Schweiker, and I hope all of you have seen the thing from the city budget I sent out by email earlier, which shows that in the next 5 fiscal years, if the city continues with the budgeting as planned, the city portion is actually will go up 70%. And I think that's quite a bit. And so it means, first off, don't spend any more money than you've already figured on. And secondly, let's see if we can't cut that. And when I first went to work with the state, they'd just done a big compensation study done by the Arthur D. Little Corporation. Probably the younger people don't know who they are, but at the time they were kind of like the most famous consulting firm in the country. And so they came out with this thing about all the different classifications, and some came out higher, some came out lower. One of the real concerns was a lot of the people, they thought that not that the people weren't capable of doing a better job, but that the job they had didn't warrant the salary they had because it could be done by someone less skillful. So the thing finally got tossed out and was never implemented. But the other thing I learned working with the state is that if the legislature approved the new position and it had an unusually high salary because people like this are hard to find, it meant you shouldn't bother applying for it because they had some crony in mind, and that's why they were giving this particular position a high salary. So anyway, the background for this is, once again, I think we need to be careful about giving out any more money than we have to. I'm particularly unhappy about these things like we had the city's longest serving employee who'd been here over 40 years. As soon as they retired, the labor grade for their job was upgraded. As in, how much better can you get than 40 years experience? So I, dislike the idea of someone's leaving, so let's immediately bump up the job. But the thing that's particularly soured me on this is I happened to look up the classification study. Has anybody else done that?
Yeah, I have it right here.
And basically, the classification study says this job is exactly at the right amount. That the lowest salary in the labor grade is below the lowest salary in the classification study, and the highest salary in that labor grade is higher than the highest salary in the classification study. So in effect, this is just the right amount right now. And maybe you'll have trouble hiring somebody at the low end because the low end is too low, but you should easily find somebody at the high end to come in because it's higher than the other comparable places. And I don't know if anyone has actually posted this job and seen how hard it is to get people. But once again, with the thought that, no, this is only $9,000, but, this money adds up. You gotta, hold the line somewhere. And already in stuff that was not in the budget, you spent an extra $4 million plus on the police station over what's in the budget. You spent another $200,000 on fire department salaries that aren't in the budget. So now you're looking at an increase in the next 5 years of over 70%. And, that's just not what we need in this city. So I think it's time for you people to say, okay, maybe we won't vote for everything the city manager wants. This one can wait. Let's wait and see if we post the job, and if nobody applies, maybe we'll deal with it, but there's no sense giving out more money now when the classification study says it's fine. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Schweiker? Thank you very much, Mr. Schweiker. Would anyone else like to testify on this item? Yes. Welcome.
My name is Therese Bastarash, and I represent a lot of my constituent or people who are affiliated with a group that I run, a grassroots group, and my own daughter lives here in Concord, and we're right on Oak Hill Road. I'm trustee of the trust in Loudon, and I just want to say I watched last month's meeting, and even in our small town.
Ma'am, do you have something to say about this item?
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize it was on a particular
Yes,
budget item.
yes, this is.
I was just thinking it was about the budget in general.
No, ma'am,
and
it's
just
not,
knowing
it's
how
on,
the money-
it's on this item.
Okay, I apologize.
Thank you. Anyone else who'd like to testify? All right, I'll declare the public hearing closed. Madam City Clerk, item 24B.
It is a resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into a lease agreement with Concord Coach Lines concerning the city-owned parcel located at tax map 6414Z, Lot 92, for use as an overflow parking area to support the busing and transportation services offered at the Concord Transportation Center.
Thank you. Mr. City Manager.
Members of the council, the key provisions of the proposed lease are as follows. The term will be 10 years, recognize the city's interest in the property for the Store Street North extension. The city has the right to terminate the lease after the initial 5 years. The lease was also includes provisions for potential future extensions of the lease in the term, pending obviously what happens to Store Street. Rent will be $12,300, increasing 3% annually. The lease runs the entire 10 years. The total revenue will be $137,556. The tax will be paid by the tenant in accordance with the RSAs. The design, permitting, and construction, the tenant shall be solely responsible for the design, permitting, and construction of the improvements at the tenant's expense. Maintenance and snow removal, the tenant will be solely responsible for the maintenance and snow removal at the tenant's expense. The tenant shall remove all improvements upon termination of the lease unless otherwise agreed by the city. So given the shortage of parking that we've had down in this area, which I think serves really much of Concord and beyond, it does make sense for us to use this unused property right now to help out the bus terminal, the Concord bus coach lines, and bring revenue into the city to help offset our taxes.
Thank you. Are there any questions at the table for the city manager? All right, I'll open the public hearing. Is there anyone who'd like to testify? Mr. Schweiker.
Hello again, everybody. It's awfully nice of you to group a bunch of hearings for me all the same evening.
We enjoy seeing you.
And I went to the planning board hearing on this. I mean, this is a wonderful plan. This thing was originally a park and ride lot for commuter parking, but it has the bus station, so some people take the bus, some people carpool, whatever. I understand now with the shortage of parking downtown, people are actually parking here and walking downtown from here. So these people have a problem that, bus customers, lack parking because everybody lacks parking, and so they want to build this expensive parking lot, pave it over, do all sorts of studies, and as far as I know, they're not going to charge for it. You could park in their new lot and walk downtown. And I have a feeling that, there's going to be a lot of that. And so my feeling is, you're not going to believe this, I wonder why we're even charging them for this. I mean, they're doing a real service for the city. They're providing parking that the city is unwilling to do and would be very expensive, and essentially giving out free. So I would like to suggest that you amend this to so long as they do not try to restrict this to bus passengers, which would be very difficult, and perhaps the bus passengers would rather park in the car, park and ride anyway. I would say as long as the bus company lets this free for anybody, that you should waive the taxes, you should waive the rent, because they're actually doing something wonderful for the city. And you should ask Mr. Dupree that lot he has up there that he usually has gated. Maybe you should let people use that for free. But anyway, so that's my thought on it.
Any questions for Mr. Schweiker? All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Would anyone else like to testify on this item? All right, I'll declare the public hearing closed. Madam City Clerk, item 24C.
It is a resolution appropriating the sum of $10,000 in the Parks and Recreation's Grants and Donations Skate Park sub-project for the construction of a skate park and accepting the sum of $10,000 as a donation from the Concord Skate Park Association for this purpose.
Thank you. Mr. City Manager.
Your Honor, I don't have anything to add. This is, they are out to raise dollars to match the $500,000 that you were able to raise for your half of the first phase of this, and I applaud them for their work.
Thank you. Any questions for the City Manager? Councilor Brown.
Yes, when we receive donations, do these donations go to the trustees of trust funds to oversee?
I'll ask Deputy City Manager for Finance to.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council. In this case, this is not a reserve, or it is not a trust item that is coming into the city. This is part of the capital project that the City Council hasn't fully approved yet. So basically, these dollars are going into we call it a grants and donations fund. What will happen is similar to what happened when we did Weiss Park with the new skate house building, and the dollars will go into the grants account. When there's enough dollars for the grants account that the City Council wants to appropriate the rest of the money, then the dollars will be appropriated from this grant account back to the capital account to fund that portion of the project.
Thank you. Follow-up?
Yes. Do the trustees of trust funds oversee this grant account?
They do not.
They do not.
May I ask the Deputy City Manager a question?
Sure.
Okay.
Why are you asking him?
I'm being polite. I'm just being, it's a courtesy.
Okay.
So how does this differ from the check that we received from the Friends of the Beeve for the new building at the club, at the golf course?
Good question. So if you think about the way that the City Council approved the golf course project, so it was $5,850,000. $5.6 million of it was bonded. $250,000 of it was donations. That was all approved during that one session. If you think about the skate park project, there was an asterisk on a portion of that project. I think the whole project during the budget process. And then there was a supplemental appropriation that came through for the LWCF money. That was $500,000. So that part was approved because it had to be approved to go to Governor and Council. The other half of it still is an asterisk type of item. So it hasn't been approved by the City Council yet. So the city, administration can't go out and spend any of that money to do that until the rest of those grant dollars come in. If the City Council wants to, do a supplemental appropriation and approve it, and then have those grant dollars or those donations come in over time in that account, they could do that too. But in this case, that's not what the City Council decided. And so these dollars are just being set aside in the grant account so that when that project is fully funded, or however much you want to say it's funded, and then you can approve the project, and then you can approve moving those dollars from the grant account.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy City Manager. Councilor Horn.
Just a hypothetical question. If we got to a couple of years from now, the land water grant expired because they hadn't matched it, and we only had $100,000 sitting in there, and then we said, we're not doing this project, we don't have the money for it, you haven't raised it up. Do those funds go back to the donating party, or what happens in that situation?
They would go back to the donating party, would be, the way that we would think of it. The LWCF money, I believe, has a 5-year period where we can accommodate the project. If it doesn't happen during that time, then I think we're at risk of losing those dollars.
And for the public, LWCF is Land and Water Conservation Fund.
Yes, that's
Federal
exactly
program,
right.
grant
Yes,
program.
thank you.
Council Brown.
Yes, thank you. So as people donate to these amazing projects, where can residents, counselors, look to see how much is in each of these funds? In each, like, there's so much for this project, you know, we can say, hey, we're just $100,000 away. You know, where is that reflected?
It's in the grant fund. We don't actually do a report on that grant fund right now like we do on the regular operating budgets. That is one of the things that we're going to be working with the Fiscal Policy Advisory Committee on this spring. We have a couple of reports for all of the grants and donation funds and all of the capital projects, because I recognize that we aren't reporting on those projects on a regular basis. It really happens at the end of the fiscal year in our audit report. So we would like to do it on a more regular basis. So we'll be doing that. So, you know, we could run a report or get a report for, you know, how many dollars are in this skate park account and provide that to the City Council. It's all there. It's all audited by our auditors at the end of the year.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Deputy City Manager.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you.
Any other questions from the council? All right, is there anyone in the audience who would like to testify on this item? Mr. Schweiker. Welcome again.
Okay, folks, this is the last one tonight, I promise. And, you know, once again, I'm concerned about, you know, here's money that hasn't been appropriated yet that's going to add to that 70% tax increase. And I'm particularly concerned, you know, they haven't answered our question. I mean, we had an attachment for fundraising, and I thought it might say how much had been raised. No, it was just a poster saying we're looking for money. So I think before you vote this on, you need to get someone to tell you how much money this group has raised so far. Because my understanding is like $40,000. And, you know, maybe I'm wrong. But my feeling is, you know, we should not be spending $500,000 if they're only going to raise $40,000 of it. We should match what they match and then let the grant match that. So let's say they raise $50,000 now and they claim they can raise another 50. Well, that's 100, so we'll put down 100 and then take 200 from the grant and we'll build a $400,000 skate park instead of $1 million skate park. Because obviously, you know, the demand isn't there if they can't, you know, raise more money than that. So the particular concern I have is if you vote this thing tonight, you're voting to design the $1 million skate park, and then it'll be like run it, there'll be pressure, oh, we've designed this $1 million skate park, just go ahead and build it. So I think what you need to do is table this for a month, find out how much money they have raised, find out how much money they think they're going to raise, not over the next 50 years, but over the next 5 years, say. And if it's more than double what they have already, I would say that's highly suspicious. And tell them also that they may not be getting their $1 million skate park for it. They'll be getting a skate park in proportion to how much money they've raised, you know, 4 times it, because we'll match their stuff and then the grant will match both. But still, you know, if they're only going to raise $100,000, they're not going to get $1 million skate park out of that. So we need to postpone this for a month, find out how much they're going to raise, how much they're going to commit to raise, and then design a skate park for that budget instead of designing the one that's either $1 million or $1.8 million, depending on which number you use out of there. And so we could cut the design fee down if we're not designing as big a park. The point is, that doesn't mean it has to be smaller. Maybe have some of the things that are already there can be continued to use if we're not replacing them. I understand in the past they've built their own things, which the city has removed. That sounds like they need better coordination with the rec department. Let them build something the city will approve if they can do it far cheaper than having a consultant and a contractor. But we don't need to get hooked into putting up the whole $500,000 when the fundraising comes in short. We need to tell them, okay, you raise 250 and we'll find 250, even though it'll increase our tax rate more than 70%. But if you're not going to find more money, we're not going to find the money either. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Schweiker. Any questions for Mr. Schweiker? Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Would anyone else like to testify on this item? Yes, sir. Welcome.
Hello.
Hello.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and City
to
Council.
see you all
Thanks
again.
for having us again. Yeah, so we are here to contribute a $10,000 check from sponsorships and donations that we've been working on over the past year. Working towards that LWCF grant, and we have a lot of exciting things happening this year for more events and funding events. So we did bring this check that we're super happy to present to you all.
Super. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Awesome, thank you.
Traditionally, they take a picture with the mayor.
I know. Come on up. Come on.
It would be easier if you went over there, right?
Yeah.
I'll go. Yeah. Well,
Be a
I'll
big
go
skateboard.
Yeah, come on, come in this way, come on. You're halfway there. You're halfway there, and you're all thin guys because you skateboard, right? All right.
Cage match, pretty much.
All right, let's put our hands on it.
Hang on, the press and Parks and Rec.
Pretty cool.
Terrific, thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much.
Appreciate
Thank
it,
you.
you guys.
Do you have anything more to tell us?
Yeah, just some. I just wanted to say.
Oh, I'm sorry, the city clerk reminds me, you have to identify yourself for the
yep.
minutes.
Yeah, my name is Chris Harrington. I'm the president of the Concord Skate Park Nonprofit Association.
My name is Alex Heath. I am just a member of the association.
I'm Arthur Anderson, also a member.
Thank you.
And yeah, I just wanted to add that I appreciate everybody that has been really interested in this project with us over the past few years. I see quite a bit of you guys actually out and about, and I get to talk with you guys about the project. That's exciting. I'd love to talk with everybody about it. We try to be as informative as possible. We have a website that I think clearly states everything we've done thus far, but maybe not. But yeah, we meet every week, and it's free for anybody to talk with us. And yeah, I just look forward to getting this project going.
As do we all.
Yeah, look forward to everybody's support. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Questions? Councilor Brown?
Yes, what is your website?
I believe it's just ConcordSkatePark.com.
Okay. Councilor Keach?
Thank you, Your Honor. Thanks for all your work, guys. You've been at this for quite a few years, at least 10 years, as I can recall. Chris, you mentioned you see quite a bit of these people out and about at the skate park.
A few have come to our events.
How did that work out?
I mean, they didn't touch a skateboard.
Oh, good. That's what I was getting at.
Just the mayor. Any other, yeah, just me. I'll hang on with you guys. Any other questions, these gentlemen? All right, thank you. So, I'm sorry, Councilor Caleb.
No, not really a question, just really quick. Really applaud your effort here. Fundraising for a nonprofit is very hard, and I'm cheering you on. So
Thanks.
good
Yeah.
job so far.
Thank you.
And let me add my thanks to you for your investment in the city of Concord and for your desire to make this a more enjoyable, fun place for a broader spectrum of people. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Would anyone else? Yeah.
Don't give it to him.
Would anyone else like to testify on this item? All right, seeing none, I'll declare the public hearing closed. Keep an eye on Councilor Todd. Happy days in Pennacook.
That's right.
Oh, my God.
All right, this brings us to the public hearing action phase of our meeting. Madam City Clerk, item 25.
It's an ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances, Title V Administrative Code, Chapter 35, Classification and Compensation Plan, modifying the position of municipal appraiser.
Do you have a motion?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion as presented, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no.
No.
Ayes have it. Madam City Clerk, item number 26.
It is a resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into a lease agreement with Concord Coach Lines concerning the city-owned parcel of land located at tax map 6414Z, Lot 92, for use as an overflow parking area to support busing and transportation services offered at the Concord Transportation Center.
Move approval.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Counselor Fennessy.
Thank you. I just want to say, I think this is a great idea. I disagree slightly with Mr. Schweiker. I think we should take the money. But I want to say that I think this is a great public-private partnership to fix the problem. I mean, I don't know how many times I go down to the bus station and see, cars parked, halfway up the slope, and then the snow comes, and I can't fathom how they're going to get out of that when they return from wherever they went to. So I think this is a great way to work together to utilize property that we're not really using at this point, and so I think we should definitely support it.
Thank you. Any other comment, discussion? I second what you said, Councilor Fennessy. I think it's a great use of an unused and underutilized piece of city property. We look forward to the partnership pending the approval of council with Concord Coach Lines. All those in favor of the motion as presented, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Ayes have it, the motion passes. Madam City Clerk, item 27.
It is a resolution appropriating the sum of $10,000 in the Parks and Recreation Grants and Donations Skate Park Subproject for the construction of a skate park and accepting the sum of $10,000 as a donation from the Concord Skate Park Association for this purpose.
Move approval.
Moved and seconded. All right, any discussion? Councilor Brown.
Yes, I have a question, and this would probably be for Mr. Gill, related to the Land Water Conservation Fund grant. Is there any opportunity to change the design if, as Mr. Schreiker said, if we only are able to, well, if we raise $500,000, can we modify the design, or is it locked in per the grant?
Mr. Gill. Welcome, Mr. Gill.
Good evening, Mayor, members of City Council. Great question. The grant was scored statewide. So if we were to go back and amend it, we would have to go back and touch base with the state folks, and it might have to get rescored. The federal grant, Land and Water Conservation, is a statewide grant application, and we compete against other locations, but there may be that possibility. We would have to go back to them.
Follow up?
That's just a possibility. We may be able to just kind of work with them or determine, right? Because you're on that board.
There is a possibility. A lot of times when you go back and rescore a grant application, it does not score as well as the original grant application. So there's probably a greater chance of it not being fully funded, but we'd have to have that conversation.
All right, thank you.
Councilor Schultz, sorry.
Isn't it true that this is also a part of a project that is getting some national funding that is coming our way because of the support from a famous national skateboarder for this project, or am I making that up?
I'm not aware of that.
Great idea.
Yeah, it is a good idea. If you know one.
With the other project.
There's a lot of crazy opportunities to raise funds with them. So
made it up.
never say no.
Yeah, that's good. Councilor Kretovic. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm good. David, handle it.
Thank you. In the words of Councilor Fennessy, I suggest we take the money. I think that this is really a testament to the organization, because when they came to us during the budget cycle 6-ish months ago, they didn't have $10,000. And they were really on the struggle bus of how they were going to make this happen. What this says is a testament to the community that when you come up and you say, I need help, people step up and help. And I think that this is the start of the momentum that's going to get you to those higher goals that you're looking for. I don't say we pause. I say we keep going. We put our foot down and we just roll with it, baby. We're ready to go.
Any other discussion? Councilor Fennessy.
I was just going to say, this group has come to our PAC, I don't know, at least half a dozen times, providing sort of updates on their progress, advocating for this project. I think this is a great project. I really appreciate the initiative to get out there and raise some money. Obviously, we got a long ways to go, but I think it's really important that we continue to try and work with groups in the city to help fund some of these great amenities we have.
Councilor Caleb.
Yeah, can you remind me again how much time remains for them to raise the amount of money they need to?
We got the grant award was last January, I believe. We do have an initial 5 years, and we do have an additional 1 year extension we can apply for if we need to. Hopefully we don't, but yes.
Councilor Horn.
Can you remind us if you still have, the Parks and Rec still has a fundraising account so that folks can donate directly?
Yes, we do have a, similar to what we did with the cross-country snow groomer with the golf course, we do have an account set up just for the skate park donation that goes into the donation fund. So folks can make a donation directly to the city of Concord. It'll go into that fund, or they also can make a donation to the nonprofit. And the past probably 10 years, probably it's half and half. The money we receive, it goes to a nonprofit, or it comes directly to the department for the cause.
Yeah, they would just reach out to Parks and Rec if a community member wanted to donate.
Yes. We'll take your money at the community center when it's open, say it's for the donation, and they'll get a receipt saying it's for the donation for the skate park. Yes.
Thank you. Following up on that, is there an online portal to donate
Yes, there
for this
is.
project?
Yes,
And is
there
there
is.
a drop-down menu, or does the person need to type skate park into a memo field, just for the sake of those?
There's a drop-down menu of probably 4 or 5 options. We take donations for the scholarship fund, the camps and stuff, so.
And follow-up? It's important to indicate which project you are donating to in order for the money to be designated to the skate park.
That is correct.
Thank you.
Okay. Any further discussion? Thank you, Mr. Gill.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All those in favor of the motion as presented, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Ayes have it, motion passes. This moves us to unfinished business. The chair recognizes Councilor Kretovic.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd like to make a motion to remove this item from unfinished business.
Okay,
Second.
moved and seconded. The issue before us is to remove this item 20, which item, Councilor?
28.
28 from the table. That's the vote, to remove it from the table. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no?
No.
Ayes have it. Ayes have it. The motion is removed from the table. Councilor Kretovic.
Would you like the clerk to read it into the record first, and then I'll make a motion on it?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
The item being discussed is a report from the Director of Human Resources and Labor Relations recommending the adoption of the PayPoint HR classification and compensation report.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd like to make a motion to accept this report.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Councilor Kretovic?
Thank you. Members of the council, the moment of pause was really important and necessary. When we see purpose changes to the compensation of our employees, and the conversation has to begin with a purpose of being on good faith on both sides. And we were asked to take pause by some of our union representatives so that they had a moment to digest the information that was contained in this report. There is not a single compensation study that is ever done that is ever complete, ever accurate. There's always going to be items in there that would cause anyone to have concern. There is no apples to apples comparison when we look at these types of studies. But with that said, this is about good faith. And I think that this is the moment in time where our unions have had a moment to read the study, and now we should allow them to support this motion so that they can have the conversation with our city administration, so that we collectively as a community can make good decisions on behalf of our residents and taxpayers.
Thank you, Councilor. Other discussion? Councilor Brown?
Yes, I noticed in this class and compensation study that...
Councilor, I'm sorry, are you recusing yourself from this?
No, I'm not speaking about any union positions. So I'm speaking about other positions that are not union related. And what I'd like to point out is in this class and compensation study, all of the golf positions are lumped in under Parks and Rec. However, the golf fund has been under finance since April of 2017, And this is recommending increases for Parks and Rec. Now, there's a very big difference between golf course staff and Parks and Rec staff. One of them being that golf course pro staff, or the pros and the assistant pros, they keep 80% of the revenue from the lessons they teach. That is not the case for Parks and Rec staff. They are also paid to go play in tournaments at other golf courses. Parks and Rec staff are not allowed to do that. And the head pro received $121,000 in 2024. And that is outrageous when you consider that there has been no offerings for the public from Beaver Meadow.
Council, do you have comments specific?
My comments is that the golf staff should not be included in the Parks and Rec field. That should be completely separate. So I'm making an amendment that the golf staff is considered separately from Parks and Rec.
So you're making a motion?
I'm making a motion that we withdraw and table the golf staff from Parks and Rec. They should not be included in this.
Is there a second? All right, the motion fails for a second. Councilor Kretovic.
No, I'm good.
All right, Councilor Schultz.
I was just going to say that, isn't this just about receiving the study and not about any specific position whatsoever?
That is correct. That is correct, Councilor.
Move the question.
The question has been moved. That is a non-debatable motion. All those in favor of moving the question, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no.
No.
Ayes have it by the required two-thirds majority. That brings us to a vote on the original motion. All right, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no.
No.
Ayes have it. Thank you. That brings us to the consideration of items pulled from the consent calendar. The first is item 12. Madam City Clerk.
This was pulled from consent by Councilor Brown. It is the quarterly status report on the City Council's 2024-2025 priorities.
Thank you. Do I have a motion?
I am making a motion to discuss this.
That's not a motion, ma'am. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion moved and seconded. Councilor Brown.
All right, what I would like to point out about this report, it is cumulative. So though it reflects different, it's a quarterly, it is actually the complete 24 to 25 priorities. However, there is a very big omission from this priority. If you look at the council priorities for 2024 and 2025 under Recreation and Leisure, it lists Beaver Meadow Golf Course Clubhouse options between MRGT and Garrison Park Pool. That is not included at all in this document, and I find that very significant considering that we approved a clubhouse, or 40% of our capital project, of our capital budget is going to Beaver Meadow Golf Course, and there is no documentation of anything regarding the clubhouse in our 2 years of priorities. So I feel that we are owed an explanation because there is construction happening that began in, I think it started at Christmas Eve, and it's ongoing, and in this report it reflects construction that is projected to happen in 2026, so that this report does not include a priority that was set by this council 2 years ago. No mention. I think that's a problem.
Thank you, Councilor. Any further discussion? All right, all those in favor of the motion as presented, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Ayes have it. The motion passes. Next item is item 17. Madam City Clerk.
This is a White Park Pond restoration report from the Parks and Recreation Director, and it was pulled from the consent agenda by Councilor Brown.
Thank you. Do we have a motion?
Move approval.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Councilor Brown.
Yes. My question was for Mr. Gill. This report talks about 2 different options. One is significantly more costly than the other, and it talks about hydro raking. Now, I know we have done hydro raking at least the last 2 years, so I'm wondering if the budget includes the hydro raking, what the cost was in the last 2 years.
$15,000.
That's all. Okay. Follow up? Is that $15,000 included in the budget for 2026?
There's $15,000 available that the council has previously made available for this.
All right, that is included in budget. Thank you.
Any other questions or discussion? All right, all in favor of the motion as presented, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Ayes have it, motion passes. Madam City Clerk, item 19.
This was pulled from consent by Councilor Brown. It's a report from the city treasurer, tax collector, recommending the divestment of a tax-deeded property within the city.
Thank you. Do we have a motion?
Move approval.
Second. Moved and seconded. Councilor Brown.
Yes, this I feel is, I have questions, and I spoke with the city manager about this today. I think that as councilors, we should all understand the process that the city goes through in acquiring tax deeded properties, because I feel with the revaluation and the massive debt service that we're levying on taxpayers, we're gonna see this a lot. And I'm gonna make an amendment that we table this, because I have recently learned more about the owner of this property, which may change their ability to retain this property, that I would like us to consider.
Making a motion to table.
Yes.
All right, is there a second? Motion fails for lack of a second. All right, any further discussion?
Yes, Your Honor. I would like the city manager to explain how we came to appropriate this property, so that, and I would also like to have the list made available to all counselors of properties that have a 3-year, they have not paid their taxes in the last 3 years.
Do you check the reply?
Sure, we have not appropriated this property.
We have not.
Councilor
think
Credit.
Councilor-
Oh, I'm sorry, Councilor Horn.
We did not take ownership of it.
We did not appropriate this property.
No, did we take, I'm sorry, can I follow up?
Follow up.
Did we take ownership of, we own the property?
We took ownership of the property.
Councilor.
Thank you. What happened to the resident of this property when we took ownership of the property?
Let me have the treasurer come up.
Thank you.
Hate to have her come out all night, not get a chance to say it, because she's so
Good evening,
brilliant. She's so
Mayor,
brilliant.
City
so.
Council.
Good morning. Good evening.
The former owner of the property is still living there.
Follow up? And what is our procedure regarding a situation like this where we have taken the property because of outstanding taxes and the resident remains?
Historically, we have sent the property to auction. We auction it off as occupied, and it's for the purchaser to deal with it at that time.
Councilor Griffin.
Thank you, Your Honor. I appreciate you coming up. Just for the clarity of the public record, this property has not paid taxes since 2017, that we've held this for basically 9 years.
No, it was previously deeded for older tax years. The owner did repurchase the property, which she had the right to do. I believe that was back in 2020. She now has not paid taxes since 2022.
Great, thank you so much.
Thank you. Councilor Horn.
Do you know, or you probably know, if they applied for any sort of deferment?
They have not.
Is this the first time that she's repurchased the property?
Well, she did not repurchase this year. That's where we're at. But the last time when she did repurchase, that was her first time.
Okay, thank you. Councilor Kurtz.
Thank you. What kind of communication does the city or outreach does the city do to individuals in this situation prior to this moment?
Yeah, they get the standard, with their delinquent amount is on every single bill they get. We send other reminder notices out, and then when we're approaching the deed timeline, we send out certified letters so that we ensure that they receive that. The owner did receive the notices. She did sign for the notices, as well as any time that she's come into our office for other business, I have spoken to her about her taxes.
Councilor Horn.
Are part of those conversations offering what we have for exemptions or deferment options or things like that?
Yep, and this particular homeowner has, I think, realized she didn't qualify for them going back to 22. They're based on the age and assets, and she didn't qualify.
Councilor Keech.
Thank you, Your Honor. This is a pretty extreme circumstance. I mean, typically, how often does this happen during the course of a year?
We only go through the deed process once a year. It's usually the late summer, early fall time frame. We ended up deeding only 2 properties this past year. One of them did repurchase within their time frame, and this is the only other one.
Follow-up, Your Honor?
Follow-up.
And that would be 2 properties of how many total, roughly?
About 15,000.
Thank you.
Councilor Caleb.
Yes, so if this goes to auction as owner occupied, how does that, could you give me a sense of how that affects the auction results? Like, is knowing that this is still owner occupied is?
The last time we did one, which was 2 years ago, it was an owner occupied property. And I mean, there was the bidding war. It wasn't, and they knew it was owner occupied, so it didn't seem to affect it.
Okay, thank you.
Councilor Seckley.
Thank you, Your Honor. So my question is, if they go and they bid it and they get it, as you said, it's up to them to deal with it later through courts and everything to kick that out.
Right, they would go through whatever the eviction process is to do that.
Follow up. So the city has no other requirement or any other attachment once it's gone?
Correct.
Just so you know, this process, how we do this, is done with a fine-tooth comb that we work with City Council over for many years, following precisely the process that you wanted us to follow, and this is exactly that process.
Councilor Fennessy.
I was just going to make a comment, sort of follow up on what the city manager said. This is a pretty detailed process that you have to go through, and there's no real benefit to us other than the tax revenue that's owed, to the extent that this may result in proceeds in excess of the amounts that it cost us to go to auction, to get the taxes, to pay whatever to get the transaction. It all goes back to anybody who has an interest in the home. So I think it makes sense to move forward.
Thank you. Councilor Schultz? Okay. I would just like to also mention that I believe that, once other liens are taken care of, the net of the sale goes to the occupant, right?
Correct.
Correct. So, Councilor Brown.
Yes, I appreciate that this has been a longstanding process, but I would like to request that we include that the counselors, or at least the ward counselors, be made aware of this property. So I just only recently learned that this resident has family in the area. So, before we get to the point where where their home is sold out from under them, I would like an opportunity to try to reach out to relatives or to do anything that I can to help keep someone in their home. So that's something that I would like to see included in this process going forward, because this will be devastating for somebody, their childhood home to be sold out from under them.
Are we ready for the question? Yeah. All those in favor of the motion as presented, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no?
No.
Ayes have it. The motion is adopted. Thank you, folks.
Thank you, Chelsea.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chelsea. This brings us to the comments by City Council. Councilor Todd.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would just like to give a really big thank you to our General Services Department, particularly our snow removal team. They have received, obviously, through Mother Nature, some real challenging storms lately, and I think they've done an outstanding job, as they typically do. And I know that Mr. City Manager has commented, so you drive out to some other communities and you go there, it's like night and day. I mean, our streets in Concord are clean. I had the opportunity just after the storm to drive in some areas of Massachusetts and also some of our neighboring communities to Concord, and that's absolutely true. I mean, it's, the streets are full of slush and snow and ice and whatnot, and you come into Concord and it's smooth sailing. So again, I think that folks generally, I think, in Pennacook have recognized that when you have a large storm event, you need to have a little extra patience. And I think for the most part, that's been true. And folks have reached out to me about some certain areas that were missed, and then sure enough, like the next day, those are taken care of. It's in the planned process that they're going to get to them. But when you have this amount of snow, of course, it takes a much longer time to get through with the various equipment and machinery to do the sidewalks especially. So I think with that, I'd just like to again say thank you very much for all their efforts, and I think it's very much appreciated by the community. Thank you.
I'm sorry. Councilor Horn? No. Councilor Kretovic.
Thank you. I appreciate that as someone that got out too early and fell on my bottom. I was not happy. Couple of things, Your Honor. Beaver Meadows School is now participating in the Nordic Rocks program, which has brought cross-country skiing to Beaver Meadow Golf Course because they're in close proximity to each other. And this is a great way where we do partnerships with our school districts. The Concord Monitor did a great article on it as well. And it's always good to see that we actually have snow out there so that people can enjoy the trails. Our recreation department is doing a fantastic job taking the trails. The second item is, you remember last month the Concord Historical Society was here, and we were talking briefly about Concord history, and this year being the semi-quincentennial, tricentennial anniversary of the formation of Pennycook Plantation and the signing of the Declaration of Independence. Thursday, the Concord Historical Society has their traditional second Thursday of the month event. This Thursday, they're doing Tales from the Top Hat, which are stories from the early years of 1726 through 1776. I have a lovely tale to share with you. It is a Valentine's story from early Concord, inspired by the people and places of Pennacook and Rumford, 1730s to 1740s. Long before Concord's first bridge or formal town meetings, when the settlement was still known as Pennycook Plantation, families lived in simple cabins cleared from the forest, and in those early years of hardship and hope, survival depended on cooperation, skill, and the strength of human connection. Among those first settlers was Joseph Whitcomb and Hannah Levitt, two young adults whose paths crossed at the settlement meeting house. Joseph was a carpenter from Haverhill who had ventured north in 1727 to build homes and mills. Hannah, a teacher from Salisbury, arrived a few seasons later to help educate the children of Pennycook. In the flickering light of winter hearths, their conversations began with shared laughter and grew into meaningful companionship. Joseph admired Hannah's courage, her willingness to teach in a frontier settlement, and Hannah was drawn to Joseph's gentle spirit and steady work. In a community where every neighbor was both a friend and a helper, their bond deepened as they worked side by side. Joseph building benches for the meeting house, Hannah setting up lessons for the children gathered there. Local tradition remembers, much later, how Joseph carved a simple wooden heart and leaves into the rafters of the meeting house, symbols of his admiration and affection for Hannah. And others said they found a folded note hidden behind the hollow of an elm tree along the riverbank, a simple verse expressing love and devotion in a world still struggling to establish itself. Though there is no official record in the settlement that names their marriage, community whispers told of a winter ceremony beneath candlelight, attended by neighbors and friends, followed by a shared meal and songs at the meeting house. The Merrimack's waters rushed by, carrying with them the hopes of young couples like Joseph and Hannah, who dreamed of a life together in this new land. Their story became part of a local memory, not recorded on county ledgers or in town meeting minutes, but passed in quiet remembrance, love flourishing amid the challenges of frontier life, reminding each generation that even during hard times, the human heart seeks out connection and joy. Thank you.
Thank you.
I hope you'll join us. That is Thursday night, 7 p.m., the Kimball Jenkins Estate. It's the Carriage House, and we'll tell lots of stories coming from the top hat, and it's a real magician's hat.
Real one. Councilor Davey.
I can't top that. I don't have a story for us this evening. I'll just second the comments about general services. I am more than happy to be woken up at 4 a.m. because I know the streets are getting done. So thank you guys.
Councilor Schultz.
No great wisdom tonight. What's already here.
All right, Councilor Kurtz.
Thank you. I also have a shout out for general services, though this has to do with my recent experience calling about a water sewer bill, and just got really excellent customer service, very quick answers to my questions, and it was a real delight to speak to the first person who answered the phone. Almost, I might have had to press one button, but there was no wait time, and it was quickly resolved. So just really appreciate the customer service.
I also love general services. I just wanted to say that. They're great.
Get on the bandwagon.
Right.
Wait till it get to me, wait till it get to me.
Also, I just wanted to note that because of the extreme weather, the Ski the Beeve had to reschedule their capital cross-country ski day, and that is now going to be on February 22nd. And you can follow Ski the Beeve Nordic Skiing in Concord, New Hampshire on Facebook, or you can go to their website, which is skithebeeve.org. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Keach.
Thank you, Your Honor. Two items, both related to White Park. First of all, the report about the pond was somewhat interesting, but the most interesting part was the rich history in the whole report. I found that fascinating. I knew a lot of it, but I learned some new things, so that was great. And secondly, and related, is the great success of black ice once again. And there was definitely some black ice that weekend, so it was great. So thank you for that.
Councilor Fennessy. Councilor Caleb.
Yeah, I have a few things. I'll second, third, fourth the thank you to General Services. Also, a huge thank you to the Concord Coalition to End Homelessness during this awful, bitterly cold time. That emergency shelter is staffed, and those folks are being taken care of. Daryl and Katie, who I see on Wednesday mornings for checkout time. Just something I look forward to every week, being able to connect with those folks and the folks in the community. I personally am very much struggling with this cold, and I have a roof over my head and a car with heat that works and warm clothes and all of that. I have, let's see, a couple of thank yous for city staff. So I'm still on a journey of learning all about how the city works. So a thank you to Matt Walsh for meeting with me recently and filling me in on all that department does. It is so much. And to our interim chief Osgood for meeting with me for, I'm sorry. Interim chief Moulton, sorry. Osgood's still in my head. Yes.
Have you met Councilors Schultz and Kurtz?
Oh my gosh. Yes, now I'm understating more how that happens. Yes. Chief Moulton, we had a very long conversation. I think it was like hour and a half at least. I learned a lot about the Concord Police Department, and I really very much appreciate his time and for giving me a tour of the facility that will soon be no longer.
I like that, huh?
Yeah, I understand things, things a bit more. I do. I really do. I had a couple of things around Ward 6 I wanted to highlight. Oh, first, I did have my first informal office hours at the laundromat across from my apartment, and it was very nice to meet the two people who came out, which is two more people than I expected. So that was fabulous. I'll be doing that every month on the first Thursday. A couple of things around Ward 6. I put together just a little list because, again, I have been feeling down with the cold and the snow. There is a heated stretch class at Worthy Minded Movement that is absolutely excellent and very warm. Really cheers you up. Plenty of shows at the Capitol Center and the Bank of New Hampshire stage. I am seeing a band called No tomorrow just to get out of the house, and I'm very much looking forward to that. There's plenty of bar-related events as well. Beijing and Tokyo has karaoke on Thursdays now. There's a craft night at Panucci's. Feathered Friend has bingo on Mondays and other events throughout the week. I have learned there is a new coffee shop on Hall Street called Angelo's. Very excited to try it. Concord Bread, which is based just a couple blocks away from me, they're offering another one of those sourdough classes, or actually 3 more of them coming up. Very exciting. And I mentioned Panucci's has a craft night. DIY Craft and Thrift often does an open craft time on Thursdays, and Witchlight Oracle also has time and space for quiet crafting. So I think that's about it. Thank you.
Councilor Schleifer.
Thank you. I'd just like to announce that March 3rd, there'll be a ward meeting, a resident ward meeting at the West Street Ward House. So it's Tuesday, March 3rd from 7 to 8:30 at the West Street Ward House. And it's for Ward 7 residents, but everybody's welcome to come.
Councilor Secco.
Thank you. I have a few items. Ramadan is going to start on February 18th. which is a full month of fasting. So please be patient with all of us because no food, no water all day. And please do take the time, if there is an opportunity to learn about Ramadan. The second item I have, I want to join all the councilors that were expressing their gratitude toward general services. I didn't get one call for the last storms, which is amazing. So kudos. A personal note for Jeff, the director of general services, because he hosted me in his office. We had a very productive meeting, but what was even more important is the learning that I got to go through. Jeff shared the personal information about him. So thank you, Jeff, for your service in the Army and for your service to the city of Concord. I learned that Jeff traveled the world, including Saudi Arabia, which was fascinating, so which was great. Thanks to Matt Walsh for just stopping by in the office to just ask some questions without appointment. And thanks for your expertise. I appreciate the guidance that I received 2 days ago from you regarding a project. My other gratitude go to the Family Center for the incredible work they do. I take my daughters there, and I will tell you what an inclusive place to be and where the staff and just the program they design, how incredible the program is. So I encourage every family who is looking to spend some time with their kiddos to stop at the family centers, and they have programs and they rotate all over the city. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Brown.
Yes, so I have a couple of things, some third places. The Women's Club hosts a program, an event every first Friday, and this past Friday for Black History Month, they had Project Story, and it was a really wonderful event in a homey, welcoming environment. So if you have not seen Project Story, these kids are our future leaders, and they do all kinds of things from dance to sports to speaking. So that was wonderful. And going on right now at the library, you can do Mystery Date with a Book. A library is a great third place. They have chargers there for your devices. They hosted Downton Abbey movie with scones and tea, and it was just, they're wonderful programs for all ages, so I would encourage everyone to check out what the library has to offer.
Councilor Foote.
Thank you, Your Honor. Two things. I'll echo what everyone's been saying about the winter maintenance and the positive comments that are going around the horseshoe here tonight. I think on our orientation, the city manager mentioned our brand, and I think tonight was good for our brand. So hopefully we can stay on that track and have positive outcomes for the next couple of years. And then on a personal note, I had a constituent of mine, a dear friend, who had a seizure, and essentially the fire department had to intubate her in her driveway because she stopped breathing. So basically, they saved her life. So we should make sure that I'm saying thank you personally, and as a counselor, can't thank them enough for what they did. It was really something. We weren't sure she's going to be alive. So really great stuff. So that's our brand. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. Thank you. We're all blessed by the services that we receive from the fire department and our paramedics, EMTs, advanced EMTs. Yeah. Well, first of all, I want to follow on what Councilor Caleb said about the cold weather, and particularly the homeless in this weather. I think that you should, not you should, but I think it should be acknowledged, and I've said this before, that this year we have an emergency cold weather protocol, which really is to the credit of Councilor Schlosser and Roseanne Haggerty, who worked with the city manager, with Chief Chisholm, city staff, and put together a protocol which not only includes the Concord Coalition to End Homelessness Resource Center, but also the Friendly Kitchen, so that those two organizations overlap to provide a warm place during the daytime. And so it's to their credit. And boy, how timely that work was, which was done back in the summer. As Councilor Schlosser remembers, we talked about this last winter, And I said, that's something that needs to be organized in the summer, and you did a great job, so thank you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah. I also would like to mention that the New Hampshire Immigrant Mutual Aid Fund is holding a fundraising dinner at the Concordia Lutheran Church on North Main Street on Saturday, February 21st from 6:30 to 8:30. The funds that are raised will be used for legal consultations for immigrants and living expenses for families that are affected by detention or deportation, which often leave children or spouses in their wake. So you can contact, there's a contact email address I have, which is glenring52@gmail.com, where you can get more information, or I'm sure if you contact Concordia, you'll also be able to receive information. I wanted to add or jump on to the many kudos going to Mr. Hoadley and General Services Department. I particularly want to commend our plow drivers who have been working overtime this winter to keep our roads cleared and safe. To our constituents, I just say, if your sidewalk has not been plowed as quickly as you think it should, please remember that in most instances, the person who has been working through the night keeping the streets plowed and sanded and salted is the same person who is driving the sidewalk plow in the morning. And we need to keep that in mind. Concord is a great city with tremendous potential. I look forward to working with this council to ensure that we continue moving forward toward a bright and prosperous future. The success of our city and the well-being of our residents depend on our ability around this table to work together as a strong and effective policymaking body. A strong and effective policymaking body, which we will do. I'm committed to working with all of you to ensure that the business of Concord continues to run smoothly and effectively. Our city employees and residents deserve nothing less and nothing but the best from us, and I trust we will live up to their expectations. Our city, like every city in New Hampshire and America, has many challenges facing it, and so in the end, let's focus on that important work at hand, and as our city staff has been doing every day. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Have a good night.
Not here.